It's really unclear when the full US Citizenship Act of 2021 will be introduced. Publicly, a lot of people are saying that it will come, it's going to come this month in March, but there's a lot of skepticism over this because I have a little bit of exciting news for you today. I know that everybody has been waiting to find out the news about when is this US Citizenship Act of 2021, the big sweeping immigration reform that is meant to give 11 million undocumented persons status in the US. When is this going to pass? When are we going to find out more? Is there even a timeline that is available? And I have a little bit of news for you today. Not the big news that we're all expecting, but nevertheless, it is at least a little bit of a small step. But before I dive into the details, my name is Moumita Rahman, and I am an immigration lawyer based in New York. I serve clients all over the US, and it is my pleasure to bring you the immigration news and discuss immigration because it is super complicated, but I love it because to be able to do immigration law means I get to help people get status, help keep families together, and help bring hope to people's lives for the better. And if you have been following me, thank you so much. And if you are new to my page, please give me a follow. Please make sure you hit that bell so that you're notified every single time I release a new video. And also, I go live quite often. You can come join me here and ask me some questions, and we can talk about immigration. What is happening with the US Citizenship Act of 2021? This act is one of the most comprehensive and broad-reaching bills that has ever been introduced to the US. The reason for that is that it proposes to pretty much give anyone who is undocumented or without status legal status in the US and a pathway to a green card and thus citizenship. It proposes to give almost 11 million people status in the US. So it is a really big deal. However, because it is such a big deal, it would require a lot of cooperation in the House and the Senate before it can be signed into law by the president. And this is what has happened, my friends. It turns out that even though the top House Democrats have promised to put key immigration bills on the floor this month, this sweeping overhaul is not going to be it, for the reason that there are not enough votes to pass it. Yes, what they've done is they've done what is called a whip count, where they go ahead and try to gather up enough votes, and it turns out that there are not enough Democrats willing to vote for this bill. The alternate plan is to go ahead and introduce smaller bills that have more popularity so as not to divide an already kind of fractured Democratic base. Turns out that Democratic leaders were never going to bring up a bill on the floor that would fail because that would put them on a tightrope as they try to keep all the diverse factions together. And they want to be realistic, and they do not want to endanger any possibility of having a united front. So instead, what we do get today is this. The American Promises Act and the DREAM Act has been introduced. Lawmakers on Wednesday formally introduced legislation that would provide a path to citizenship for young people brought to the US as children, as House Democrats plan to hold an immigration week later this month. So this is what is going on. The American DREAM Act is what will give status to persons who are brought to the US underneath the age of 18. It basically puts them on a fast track to a green card. And the Promise Act is another fast track to a green card and citizenship for persons who hold temporary protected status. Together, we expect that should these pass, it would give 2.5 million people a green card in the US. This 2.5 million people is not insignificant. I know it is not the 11.5 million, and it doesn't actually help a lot of people who are watching right now, but it does still help some people. And for that, I know that I am grateful, and I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen. So it's really unclear when the full US Citizenship Act of 2021 will be introduced. Publicly, a lot of people are saying that it will come, it's going to come this month in March, but there's a lot of skepticism over this because a lot of people feel that it is just too unrealistic to expect to put out this bill, which is so wide-reaching and which will require a broad coalition of support to pass. Many people don't believe that it will. I also think that it needs a little bit more time. However, I'm really happy that we have this American DREAM Act and the Promise Act that has been introduced. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next update. This video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. For proper legal advice on your case, please call us to set up a consultation.